In this lesson, we're going to look at mixtures and learn how to classify them as homogeneous or heterogeneous. So we're going to go back to our diagram of the types of matter. In the previous lesson, we looked at pure substances. In this lesson, we're going to look at mixtures. Mixtures are a combination of two or more pure substances. So there are two types of mixtures, homogeneous and heterogeneous. One way to look at them is to look at these diagrams. Notice in the one on the left that it is the same throughout. The particles of each type are evenly distributed and evenly mixed together. On the right side, in the heterogeneous mixture, notice that they are different throughout. We see that there are more green substances at the bottom and more purple at the top. We do not see an even mixture throughout the sample. Let's look at a way to help us identify whether or not a mixture is homogeneous or heterogeneous. So think about having a sample. Assume you are able to take a sample from the bottom, the middle, and the top of that mixture. If they are all exactly the same, then chances are you have a homogeneous mixture. If, however, you see different things when you pull a sample from the top, the middle, and the bottom, then you have a heterogeneous mixture. Students often confuse the difference between a compound and a mixture. So let's look at a couple of examples so we can understand the similarities and differences between them. A compound must contain two or more elements, while a mixture contains two or more pure substances. Remember that pure substances can be either elements or compounds. In a compound, the elements are bonded together and have to be broken apart by a chemical method. In a mixture, they are not chemically bonded together and they may be separated by a physical means such as a magnet or filtration. In a compound, the elements exist in a fixed ratio. For example, the picture shows a sample of iron 2 sulfide. In this compound, for every iron atom, there is one sulfur atom. So it is always a 1-to-1 ratio throughout any sample of this compound. When we look at a mixture, in this case we can look at iron and sulfur. So iron is being attracted to the magnet, the gray particles, and the sulfur is the yellow powder. So we can separate these two substances from one another, but they can also exist with variable ratios. I could have 10% iron and 90% sulfur, or 50-50, or 80-20, or any possible combination, because it does not have a fixed ratio that a compound does. So when we look at homogeneous mixtures, these can exist in the solid phase, so steel or other metal alloys are considered a homogeneous mixture. Liquids, so a lot of solutions that we make in the lab are considered homogeneous mixtures. Milk, if it's homogenized milk, and that's why it gets the name homogenized, because it's a homogeneous mixture. We can also have gases that are homogeneous mixtures. Neon lights are often mixtures of gases such as neon, argon, mercury, and krypton. We also have a variety of heterogeneous mixtures. So we have smog, solid particles in the air, and it's not going to be the same if we take samples in different places. Unhomogenized milk, so milk fresh from the cow, would be heterogeneous. Dirt, which contains particles and things of different sizes and different composition, would be a heterogeneous mixture. And blood is also a heterogeneous mixture.